Hey, so I thought I'd do a update. I'm finally done with the D, and I am working on the Camaro, as I said I would. I've got all my stuff ready to go, just has to be cleaned a little and then painted. The body, that's all the jet black, that's all the flat black. The aluminum is over here. But yeah, I got the D done, and it turned out pretty good. Blowing it out a little. This had some really cool decals. This set. It's a pretty good rendition of the D if you want a 1/2500 scale. So the decals came out pretty good. And I've been really busy working on stuff for the show, so I haven't had time to do much of this. I don't have much of it here, but, well, there's a radar dish, but I did get that done and lit. So that's ready to go for some green screen. And it lit up pretty much like I wanted. You can't see the little set I built in there, but it's there. You can kind of see it. So that's been keeping me busy, among other things. But yeah, I'm getting back to this. I'm going to wash these parts and then start painting them. I don't know how far I'm going to get today. Maybe I'll do another video at that time. Everything's sanded. I did connect some pieces to the body that you're supposed to later, but I didn't see any reason to do it later. Like the antenna up here, which looked like a little shark's fin. It was really cool. And then the spoiler on the back, because there's no reason not to. There are, let's see if I can make it show. Oh, there it is. Little divots. It's hard to see in the trunk where all these connector pins are. Those four, my thumb's next to one. But on the other side, they're little tiny little divots. I'm not going to bother. They'd just be too much of a pain to fill and sand and do all that. It's an imperfection. So yeah, I'm just going to hopefully get to paint today. I think that's about it for right now. Alright, little update here to the update. I didn't get much painted today, but not as much as I wanted. I did get some of the aluminum done here. That turned out okay. Let's see, the exhaust doesn't look too bad. I actually did all this with this Sharpie. Mufflers, and then the exhaust. The exhaust looked pretty good. I gotta get in there and paint some black on the inside of the tips. But they don't look so bad. Let's see, what else? I didn't get any of this painted. I didn't get this. I have been test fitting stuff, but I didn't get really any of the black done. And I don't like how that looks. You may not be able to tell on the camera, but that doesn't look too hot. And it's not quite the right color. So I'm going to sand that off, and I'm going to use the old rattle can. This is chrome, but it comes out aluminum. To get chrome, you actually have to paint it black and kind of layer it and do some weird stuff. But if you just spray it on, it comes out more like this, more like aluminum, which is what I'm going for with these. And it's a different aluminum from this, so I'll have some variance between the rotors and calipers and the actual rims, which there was in my car. So yeah, I've been looking at the steering wheel and just looking at that picture right there, and that's there's leather around the steering wheel, and leather around that too. It's a lot of detail to paint. There actually is, like, you can't really even tell with the naked eye, but all that detail is in some way, shape, or form present on here. And there's the little notches in back, which are impossible to see. But I'm going to say those are the flipper switches mine had, and paint those aluminum. But yeah, even that little aluminum piece down the bottom is represented on this, and so is this and this, and this is, what was that? Crap, that's your cruise control and such. And that was your digital display control, I believe, which is right there, which is great because in my car, the way I sat, I actually had the steering wheel down so you couldn't see. It's kind of like this. This is about where my finger is over the speedometer, so I couldn't really see it, but I could see the digital display. And speedometer is one of the things that it has in there along with a bunch of other things. So yeah, all of that detail is in some way, shape, or form represented on here, and that's going to be fun to paint somehow with a pin, or let's see here, maybe even one of these guys. But I have really, really fine pins that I could use for that instead. So that's pretty much what I got done today, which is not a whole heck of a lot. Tomorrow it's supposed to be nice out. Not rain. It's been raining for the last week. Tomorrow's Friday, and it should be in the 70s, and it's going to be partly sunny, so I can go out to the garage and throw some flat black on all the interior and the grill insert here, and drop. Oh, nothing. So hopefully I'll get that done tomorrow. But that's about it. So I'll check then. Alright, so I got some painting done. As you can see on the body, it needs a little work. I don't know if I can show this off. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see the little error in the paint there. I need to fix, but the that black looks really good on it. And I put the grill in there. Kind of see the difference between the flat black and the jet black there. I also put on the I just temporarily put on the front here and then the rear just to see how the paint matched and everything. It doesn't look too bad, but I will need to sand this a little and fix some errors in the paint. And then I got all the flat black done here. Looks pretty good on the door panels and this thing here. I still got to go in detail. And then of course this. You have to detail most of this stuff actually. Here's the floor plan. Bucket. But yeah, she looking pretty good after I got this paint on her. But still need to work on the body, and still need to add details, and then I'll be done with the paint. So I guess I'll see you guys when I am done with that. Another little update on the paint here. I'm coming along. As you can see, I've got the pedals painted here. I didn't have a clutch, so that stays black. There was like a little space for the clutch, but it did not exist in my car. I got the door handles painted aluminum there. And there is a little bit of chrome that goes around here, but no, I'm not too concerned about that. I got the steering wheel details done. Just need to put the decal on it. And I got the this done. All the trim goes around those parts done. Just have to add decals, and these are actually the first parts. You add you for some reason glue this into here and add the decals to this, and I have to wait for the aluminum to dry, and then I'm going to coat it with matte in places, coat it with gloss in other places, and then basically put the decals on. And you don't see the body because we'll go see that right now. As you can see in my beautiful 1970s sink, I've got the body, and it is white again because I didn't like the paint. So I stripped it off. I really like working with acrylics. It's really easy to strip the paint off. I just use a little water, a little soap, little mineral spirits there, and a little what is that, 800 grit sandpaper. And what this did is allow me to see some of the more defects in the body and actually See that got filled in a little with paint. So I'm got some nice automotive primer, and I don't really care about that stuff being black, or it's stained black and we painting primer over it because they're recesses. I didn't really care about any of the recesses being black or stained black. It's kind of nice. I don't have to go back in and do some of this stuff later. I probably will, but yeah. Like on the body here, I got the door frames nice and highlighted, and then some of the detail on this line right here on either side, and then I didn't really clean that, although I'm going to have to repaint it. That's just from handling it. So yeah, and the gas cap. So yeah, automotive primer, sand, automotive primer, sand, and then go back and put another coat of black and see what that does. So that's all for now. Alright, I'm starting to put things together. Got the body is primered, one coat. It's outside, well, drying. But I'm starting to, I kind of skipped ahead and started to do this because I don't need the body for this. So I got that in there. And the one thing I want to do, these aren't the right size. I don't mean they're not the right size for the, well, they aren't the right size for the car. At least mine weren't. But I had 20s on the rear and 18s on the front. So yeah, and these are all the same size. I don't know if that's a year difference or they just didn't bother with the tiny microscopic amount it would change. But yeah, I got everything ready. All the lacquer on it, so it brought the flat more of a. Let's see, you can see this. This is the flat. It's in the light. See, that's the flat right there, and then this is with the little bit of polish on it, and brings it more to satin, which was my interior was more satin than just flat. So that's about where I am. More later. So more progress. I've got most of the interior done. I've actually got the interior done, and yeah. So here's the interior. The vinyl seats were a little bit of a pain to get in there, but I got them in there. I had to, I had to super glue the vinyl because model glue won't work. But yeah, the interior looks, it looks decent. And you kind of have to assemble this all at once. And these seats sort of overlap these, well, the door and side panels. So you kind of have to put the door and side panels in first, and then maneuver the seats in behind, and get this squished up in front. It does actually mount right down here, as well as on the sides of these. So, not looking too bad. I got the nice satin sheen I was looking for. So, yeah, that's that. Now just the body and some decals, and she's done. So, back with more later. So, a little mini update here. I ran into a problem when I went to test fit the body and everything on here, and that's these seats weren't low enough when I glued them in there, and they are in there. Oh boy, are they in there. So yeah, that super glue is it's in there. Those seats ain't coming out. I would have to rip all of this out in order to. They're vinyl, so they just bend. They don't pull out. So yeah, my only option is to actually take a Dremel to these, because these hit the roof, and that in of itself isn't too big of a thing. It means I couldn't put this in, but the problem was it was lifting the rear, and these pegs weren't going down all the way. And if these pegs don't go all the way, then the rear section here, these two tabs don't line up, and it won't connect properly because it's all kind of meant to go together like that. So yeah,
and the frame, it wouldn't sit right on the frame, and this wouldn't line up to it, and there was really nothing I could do. There was no way I could push it down or anything. So yeah, I'm gonna have to Dremel the tops of my seats off. That's not cool, but there it is. You can see they're very tall there. So if you get this kit, make sure these stupid seats are down as far as they're supposed to go before you glue them in. Alright, that's it.
So here she is, all completed. My 2011 Camaro is finally done. So, sporting the black. I actually managed to get the hoods. I painted these on instead of doing decals. They look a lot better painted on here. So I got the stripes on the hood and the stripes on, well, right above the kicker panels. There. So yeah, it turned out pretty good actually, I think. I just completed it. I just hit the mirror too, which I just glued on. I just glued the mirrors on, did a little touch of paint on them. I'll put some gloss on them later, but yeah, it turned out pretty good. Pretty close to my original car. Except I think my car sat a little bit lower body to tire on the front and the rear. It's retains the same stance, but I could have swore it was lower. Anyways, yeah, it turned out pretty good. The glass didn't fit in perfectly, but it's in there. Looks pretty good from the back. The bow tie is off to the left a little bit. I didn't notice that until I got all the gloss paint on it, or well, gloss finish on it. And there's some errors in the gloss too I have to go back and buff out. But all in all, really fun to build. Actually, I didn't expect this to have as much heft as it does. It has some heft to it. The model does, which is really nice. And it does, of course, roll if you're into that sort of thing. But yeah, fun to build. I want to build another one. I want to get another version, not the AMT, but another version of this, and paint it up as the car I actually wanted to get. This is the car that was in my price range. It had an automatic and was in my price range. But what in 2010, which is what this is, but this is 2011. That's what I'm saying. Don't tell anyone. They had this awesome blue, and that's the color in the car I wanted to get. So I'm going to do another one and actually paint it up as the car I wanted to buy, as opposed to the car I did buy. I still love this car. I wish it'd come home. It's been gone for far too long. But I could never find that blue I could never find it, really. I think there was one, and it was nowhere near where I was. It was way up north, way up near, I'm down past the Twin Cities, and it was way up, like almost International Falls or Brainerd or somewhere like that. I wasn't willing to drive way up there, and it was more expensive than this car. So, yeah, looking good, and I'm going to be moving on to the E next. So, just one more shot of my baby. And before she goes on the shelf, or well, before I let the mirrors dry and then paint some gloss on those. Yeah, really fun little kit to build. So that's it for this. Then I'll be making a video on the E. I've already started on it. You know, you got those days where you're waiting for paint to cure, and I couldn't just let it sit there. I had to do something, and I kind of dug into it a little bit. So you can see that in that build video. So until then, take care.